We're not at all, guys. This is praise music. To glorify the Lord, amen? Can you feel it? Can you feel it? Oh, yeah, Oh, I forgot to click this one. Sorry, guys. Can you feel it? All right. Good evening, everybody. Whoops. I didn't realize I turned my microphone off. I can't mute it. Hang on 1 second and we'll get started. Okay, here we are. Good evening, everybody. We're getting ready to start now. We are really late because technical difficulties as usual. So I'm really going to consider getting into different internet just because I'm tired of struggling with this internet. It's acting up, it's hitting me blocks, and I'm still getting problems. So I'm thinking of checking into a different company. So something that makes it worth spending your money for internet. So I try to get this so that it's not like repeating or like echoing as much as I can. I'll do my best. Just try your best to just listen and follow along. Hang on. I'm going to turn it up a little more. Actually, that's actually pretty good. Can you guys hear me? All right. So I have to look both ways because this way is Facebook Live, and this way is Zoom Cloud Meeting. So I got this one recording, and I got this one recording. So before we get started, I want to let you guys know, those of you that are on Facebook, that we have a Zoom meeting running as well. I don't do a lot of people on Zoom meeting, but that's okay because my goal is to reach out to different people in all avenues, not just here on Facebook. So Zoom is actually probably a more intimate, interactive, way to do the classes, because then at the end you guys can ask questions vocally, whereas Facebook you just can only comment below, and then after that it's like I'll read the questions afterwards. But we can still do that, either way is good. But I'm doing Zoom because I have Zoom recording my classes so that I can put them on YouTube. So I just want to give everybody a warm Monday night welcome. Nice and refreshing drink. Anyway, let's get started. I'll stick my phone up here for now. All right, so we'll get started because Zoom does only allow 40 minutes for recording time. So let's get started and jump into the lesson. So tonight we're going to be talking about producing therapeutic essential oils. So we are on lesson 7. And so, you know, we've been doing really well so far during these classes. So if you're watching right now, or you're watching the replay, whether you're on Facebook or whether you're going to see this later on YouTube, please comment below and let me know if you're learning anything valuable. Because the truth is, as much as I love doing this, and I like to party up every Monday night, and I like to come on early, about 15 minutes early on Facebook Live, get some nice upbeat music going, and just kind of dance and celebrate each day, right? Each time we have classes. But I want to know if people are really benefiting from these classes, because I mean, I'll do them anyway, because there's always people on YouTube that would really be interested in learning, right? But I just want to know if you guys are getting anything from these classes. I want to know if you're learning anything. Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget, ask questions. Those of you that would be on Zoom cannot unmute themselves, but they can go into the comments. Those of you on Facebook, you guys go ahead and start popping your questions in the comments below. I'm not going to be able to read them until question and answer time, but go ahead, pop your questions below. So let's get started. So I just want to give you all a big Young Living welcome, because that's a company that I'm with, not working for necessarily, but it's the business that I'm working with. So I can't reach. There's a problem here. Oh, I hope that's not gonna. Hope you guys can still see my. I'm just gonna have to reach all the way over and go like this to my next slide. Oh, I didn't realize I was letting my paper wet. All right. So first of all, we want to talk about a bit about housekeeping. Now, like I said, nobody's on Zoom, but there is something in here that I do need to share on Facebook as well. So, number one is that Zoom gives us 40-minute time limit. So therefore, if the class is not finished, then I just have them pop back on and we'll continue. Afterwards, we'll do a question and answer. We'll take like a 3-minute break because we know we'll get end the meeting, and then I'll restart the meeting so that they can come on for questions and answers. That way we won't get kicked off or, you know, for too long or whatever. So, and then we don't have anybody on Zoom right now, but if we have anybody on Zoom, number 3 would be do not unmute and interrupt meetings, because that really wastes time. So again, questions and answers will be done at the end. And the most important part, which is number 4, is that disclaimer. And therefore, that's just me coming on to say that I cannot promise healing, I cannot promise a cure, I cannot diagnose, I cannot suggest, I am not a doctor. I'm here to teach you guys the information that you guys need to know so that you guys can see the value in this and use these oils for your own purposes. So that's what this class is about. It's about your own education and your own learning so that you can use the oils. So I'm no doctor. I'm just a person who loves using essential oils. And so let's get into the lesson. So tonight, we're going to be talking about producing therapeutic essential oils. So let me take this out. So one of our learning objectives is this. So we're going to be talking about seed to seal, and you can see right here, it has your seed to seal right here. We're going to be talking about seeding, cultivation, distilling, testing, and sealing. So we're going to be talking about that tonight. We're also going to be talking about different forms of essential oil production. We're going to be talking about the distillation process, and lastly, we're going to be talking about testing and sealing. So we're going to be in for a good lesson, you guys. And it's very important for you to, continue watching. I know that with Facebook, people are in and out, but what I'm going to ask you to do is just, just take the time. Take the time to sit through this class. You can do this class and you can do other stuff at the same time, like multitasking, unless you need your phone, of course. But take the time and listen to these classes because they are very valuable and very beneficial information for you to know. We're going to be talking about therapeutic oils, and that there are people out there, companies that produce essential oils that is not therapeutic. They are cheaper on the market. You can get them at health food stores. You can get them at Avon. You can get them at Walmart, the drugstore. You can get them in those places, and they probably have a really cheap dollar on it, but at the same time, you're really investing in something that is highly, very dangerous. Just because it'll have a label on it that says 100% pure, but it's really not 100% pure. So how do you find oils that are 100% pure? You're not going to find them in a drugstore. You're not going to find them at Walmart. You're not going to find them on Avon. You're not going to find them at a hardware store or a health food store. Anywhere you go that you see on shelves that's just easy to grab, you're not going to find pure essential oils there. It's going to be all kinds of unhealthy garbage that's just not good. It is dangerous to use them because they can have damaging effects on your body. And here's the thing, I want you to understand. A lot of people have shared disappointments with me that essential oils don't work. And I'm so thankful to have the knowledge to say, you know what, because if I didn't have the knowledge that I do now, I'm like, why is that? But now I have the knowledge to know and say that, hey, maybe you are not using the correct oils. Okay? So the only place that you can get 100% pure, potent, therapeutic oils is through Young Living essential oils. And maybe doTERRA is another selection that you choose to do. But let me tell you something, I'm not knocking doTERRA. I'm not here to tell you that you should not or that you cannot go to doTERRA. I'm here to say that Young Living is the only company that produces 100% therapeutic pure essential oils. Now, I'm not saying that for gain, to gain customers or to gain team members. I'm saying that because it's true. I want you guys to be able to invest in oils that are really going to do good, that does provide the God-given medicinal healing properties, because you're not going to find that anywhere else. Let's go to our next slide. Nope, not yet. We're stuck here for now. So I'll just begin to read. So as we begin to understand the power of essential oils in the realm of personal holistic healthcare, we will appreciate the necessity of obtaining the purest essential oil possible. For this reason, the entire process of obtaining oils must be carefully watched over from beginning to end. No matter how costly pure essential oils may be, there can be no substitutes. And I'm probably going to jump ahead and talk about what I was just talking about, but this is the thing with Young Living. They pay the extra money so that they can do the extra work to make sure that they are producing therapeutic grade 100% pure essential oils. There's the other companies out there that put oils on the shelves at health food stores and so on, that they do not spend the extra money to produce real 100% therapeutic essential oils. Am I echoing too much, guys? Test. Is that better? I'm still a little echoey. Test. Let's try that. All right. So this is exactly what happens. The companies that create essential oils, they don't want to pay the extra price. And that is why essential oils that you would find at a health food store, drugstore, Walmart, wherever, they're cheaper in price as well, right? And I don't want to say that Young Living is really expensive, because it's really not. I mean, a lot of people think it is for some reason, you know, but there are oils that you can get between $10 and $30, right? I mean, again, how much money would you spend at a fast food store for a single family and not be able to buy one $10 bottle of oil from Young Living? So I'm not telling people what to do. I'm not passing judgment. I'm just making a suggestion. You gotta ask yourself, what are your priorities? You know, and fast food stores, all they are is just unhealthy stuff, unhealthy hormones and stuff that you're putting in your body. Anyway, so why not save the $30, $60, whatever you spend on fast food for your family? Why not take that $30 or $60 and buy 2 or 3 bottles of essential oils from Young Living? Invest in your health. You can make a whole lot more healthy meals at home instead of spending the extra $30 to $60 on fast food, where you put that towards your essential oils. So anyway, you gotta be careful when we're dealing with oils, when we're considering getting essential oils, because, you know, we gotta, like I said, companies that produce synthetic adulterated oils that you find in health food stores, there's a reason why they're bad in quality, because of the dollar bill. They are not willing to pay the extra money to produce really good 100% therapeutic oils. So anyway, let's continue on. So just as chemists can synthetically copycat the constituents of pure essential oil, many essential oil companies today label their oils therapeutic, even though they buy anonymous brokers and have no experience in meeting any standards. So there you go, right there. What did it say? Many of people who produce essential oils that are not Young Living, that is, they will copycat the idea of pure 100% pure therapeutic essential oils, and they will label their bodies. Their bottles. They will label their bottles 100% pure essential oil. But as we learned last week in our scientific research, there was a lady who got burned, and instead of, she went to a health food store, bought an essential oil bottle there, I believe it was lavender, and this is not 100% pure. This is not therapeutic oil that she used. So she puts it on her burn, and that oil makes the burn worse. So are you getting what I'm saying tonight, you guys? When you choose, like, oh, maybe I'll just go and buy essential oils from a health food store or Walmart or Avon or wherever because it's cheaper. It's easier to grab. I can just go and grab it on the shelf and I don't have to order it and then wait weeks for it. You are actually putting yourself at risk of danger. Those oils don't do any good. They don't have any healing properties. They actually do the opposite. They make things worse. So Young Living was the first to establish guidelines to define that the therapeutic essential oils, next page, and create oils that any known that are medicinal standard. Synthetic or natural identical oils are commonplace on the market and can be created cheaply, listen, and then sold in places like health food stores, drug stores, novelty stores, tourist shops, and it's sold at a very low price. So again, these are non-therapeutic essential oils, but the bottles say that they are. So just because it says that it's 100% pure therapeutic oil doesn't necessarily mean that is the case. If you're finding essential oil on the shelves at a store locally, you are not finding the right oils. Again, Young Living is the only essential oil company that produces pure essential oils. So if you want oils, come to Young Living. Right? All right, so synthetics are, okay, I think I read that part. Where am I? So they have therapeutic grades and may be harmful. For instance, fragrance spray, lavender, may have a harmful effect on newly burned skin, which I just talked about. Extended or adulterated oils may have an essential oil base, but has certain lab-created constituents to increase volume or fragrance. Due to chemical impurities and angiognostic balance among oil constituents, these oils may either effective, even cause negative effects. I think I just read that part. Yeah. Anyway, that's okay. All right, so USDA to weaken the purity of organic label. Natural organic essential oils focus on growing in a neutral, chemical-free environment, but not concerned with the exactness of the time, harvest, and distillation process. Next page. The therapeutic potency of essential oil. Such oils are labeled 100% pure, certified, or natural, but with a sub-therapeutic value because of the 2011 decision to allow genetically modified alfalfa to be planted anywhere. The very word organic may not generate freedom from the GMO contaminations. So GMO basically stands for genetically modified organisms. In the US in 2014, 94% plant areas of soybeans, 95% cotton, 93% of corn, genetically modified plant is proved as organic. The door has been opened. So these how do I say that? These certain plants, these essential oils, are labeled pure, but they're really not. So you gotta be careful, like I said, where you go and get oils. All right, so we're gonna go on to the next slide. We're gonna talk about therapeutic grade essential oils. All right, so we have this little graph here, and so we're gonna go through this graph, and we're gonna talk about the different layers of therapeutic grade. And so you can see that there are 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 different layers of therapeutic grade essential oils and different types of grades. Not all of them are therapeutic. but they're all different types of grades of essential oils. So the top one is therapeutic, but we're going to start from the bottom one, and then we're going to go to the very top. So the bottom layer, so the bottom, oh, wrong one. Okay, let me read my sheet. So the bottom layer here is synthetic biology oils. So we're going to read that, what that says. So number one, synthetic biology. In the new adulteration, high-value molecules like esters, terpenoids, and aldehydes are recreated synthetic DNA and fermented by the biological yeast, fungi, and enzymes. These flavors and fragrances are conditioned natural because they come from yeast according to FDA and European regulations and can be used to enhance cheaper oils. Hello. Cheaper oils. Did you guys hear that? Cheaper oils. So clearly, this is basically this bottom layer here. This is basically the cheapest oil you can get. Cheaper oils in price and very cheap in quality. So this is a grade that you do not want to play around with. Actually, none of these you want to play around with, just the very top. All right, next one. Then the next layer from the bottom is synthetic or natural identical oils. So that'll be point number 2 that we're going to make. So synthetic natural identical oils created in a laboratory. And then number 3, which is the third layer up from the bottom, is extended or altered oils. Again, not a good category of oils that you want to mess with. They're not worth it. They're low in cost, but they're also low in quality and quantity. They're really not good. They're going to do bad. They're going to do damage to you. So, where am I with grade? So this is a fragrance grade. And then the next grade, which is the 4th layer up, we have natural oils and certified oils. The 4th grade up, natural oils and certified oils. So pass oil standard test let's try that again. Pass oil standard test but may not contain any or just a few therapeutic compounds. So again, it's not 100% pure, but that is the next grade in essential oils. And then, of course, the last one, which is the very tip at the top here, is our therapeutic grade essential oils. Pure, medicinal, steam distilled essential oils containing desired therapeutic compounds. Now, these are the ones that you need to invest in, okay? The rest going below, those are not the ones that you want to invest in, but the one in black here, the 5th layer at the top, that's the one that you want to invest in because they have medicinal, God-given healing properties in it. And not only that, but they are 100% pure therapeutic essential oils. They are carefully monitored over, they are carefully cultivated, they are carefully distilled, they are carefully tested and sealed. Hence, Young Living's easy seal process. And we're going to be talking about all that. All right, so let's go to slide 5. So literally, from the plant seed that is dropped into the soil, the essential oil sealed in an amber bottle at Young Living's state-of-the-art bottle facility. The seed-to-seal process is carefully supervised from beginning to end to ensure quality of purity of Young Living's pure therapeutic grade essential oils. All right, so now we're going to be talking about our seed to seal, which I showed you at the beginning. But first, I need to grab a drink. All right, so seed to seal. So Young Living Essential Oils, listen to this, guys, it's very important to listen to this. Young Living Essential Oils is the only, repeat after me, the only Young Living Essential Oils is the only company dedicated to medicinal use and application of essential oils that is able to guarantee essential oil quality from seed to seal. The oils Young Living provides to consumers are extracted through steam distillation, while a variety of plant roots, bushes, trees, resident, I think there was a typo there, residues are as powerful and pure as what time clothes for which they are deserved. I hope that made sense. I think I have a few typos in here, so there may sometimes be some things that are just not understandable. So anyway, you get the gist, right? You get the gist that Young Living provides consumers extract through steam distillation from wide variety of plants, roots, and trees. Life-giving energy of essential oils that are hopefully distilled from nature cannot be duplicated in a sterile laboratory. Synthetic constituents may be similar in structure, but listen to this. I get my page to open it. Let me read that again so you're not lost. The life-giving energy of essential oil that is hopefully distilled from nature cannot be duplicated in a sterile laboratory. Synthetic constituents may be similar in structure, but not have none of the living plant energy that holds God's given medicinal value. So that's just what I said already, that, non-therapeutic essential oils that you find in stores that you walk into, they're not going to have that property of healing. And that's why a lot of people get frustrated because they don't work. And that's why a lot of people end up being turned away from essential oils because, oh, it doesn't work. And they don't realize that chances are they're probably using the wrong oil. They're probably using oil that is not 100% pure therapeutic grade. They're using an oil that will do more damage than good. So it's very important to understand where you're getting your oils, and it's very important to understand all of this information by coming to this class so that you know, right? And maybe you try an essential oil from Young Living and it doesn't work. I think a lot of people believe that essential oils don't work for everybody. I don't believe that is true at all. I think that if somebody tries an essential oil and it doesn't work, then chances are is you're looking for something that's going to happen overnight. Now, let me tell you my story again. New Year's Eve, went to a funeral, went to the reception. They had like a Christmas dinner type thing there. I thought the gravy jar was like almost empty, so I went like this to pour it on my plate. I got hot gravy all over my plate, on the table, the floor, and all over my hand. So I cleaned my mess up, went to the table, put my plate down, immediately grabbed my lavender essential oil, put it all over my left hand, and then by 7 o'clock that night, it was like I didn't burn my hand. No blisters, no soreness, nothing. So, but if I would have used a lavender essential oil that was from the market that I could walk into a store and grab it off the shelf, and I would have put it on my burnt left hand, then it probably would have kept the burn in there, and I probably would have had blisters all over my hand, because the synthetic adulterated oils that say that they're 100% pure, but they're not, they will do more damage to you, right? Whereas, you know, if you're using essential oils to eventually help in the long run, you're not going to get an overnight experience, right? You got to use your oils over and over and over consistently, and then eventually, within maybe a week or two, maybe 3 weeks, you will begin to notice a difference. You'll begin to notice a change, right? You can't just use the oil once and expect magic, because essential oils are not magic, all right? So you got to use them consistently, and then eventually you will start to see change. But if you try that with the synthetic full of chemicals oil, an oil that is full of synthetics and chemicals that is adulterated essential oil, then you're going to probably not have any results, because the truth is that it does not have God-given medicinal healing properties in it, right? So you're just wasting your money. Anyway, let's move on. We are going to go to slide 6. All right, so this is slide 6. So Young Living Lavender Farms distillation chambers holds thousands of pounds of plant material. So this shows you the picture right here that shows you how much plant material of lavender that it holds. Or not even just lavender, but just plant material. And that you gotta have that much plants to distill essential oils. All right, so we're gonna talk about the seed, and I hope that my Facebook internet will work. So seed. So herbs are selected from the proper species and types. Whether seeking clove or from Madagascar, such as from Spain, Young Living experts constantly travel across the globe to verify plant cultivation and extraction quality to ensure absolute integrity of the essential oil. And so now we're going to talk about cultivation. So Young Living essential oils are extracted from both wild-crafted and cultivated herbs from established partnerships, which governs and sellers all over the world. Some of the oils come from herb cultivated in rural areas of countries such as China, Australia, Madagascar, and Brazil. And Malaysia, I'm not really sure where that is, but harvested by Indonesian people who have, next page, who have years of experience in plants that have growing conditions. Other oils from Young Living Farm, France, Canada, Florida, and the United States, where organic growing practices are altered with great care and extractness. So let's go to slide number 7. So what we're going to show you now is a slide of pictures that, just a few pictures that kind of show you what they do in producing their oils. So this one is summer harvest. So again, we're talking about like cultivating essential oils, cultivating the plants that make essential oils. They have to be cultivated at a certain harvest. They cannot be cultivated 2 hours before, otherwise they'll lose their constituents and they'll end up being full of synthetics and stuff like that. So this is the summer harvest. Doesn't really say where it's from. It just says like this is their summer harvest. So some of the essential oils are harvested in the summertime. So, and they have to be specific right on. Like you cannot harvest certain essential oils, or sorry, certain plants, because the oil comes from the plant, right? So you cannot harvest and cultivate certain plants during a different harvest time. It has to be exactly. So if there's essential oils, if there's plants that need to be cultivated like in the summer, then it needs to be cultivated in the summer at the right time. So the next slide. So this slide here, this is filling the extraction chamber. So again, you know, in a couple previous lessons, we've learned about how the distillation process is done, and it shows you this chamber that you put all the plants in, and then it's got to be full. Some of them they add water in just to break up the fiber and the molecules and stuff like that. So this is how they fill up the chamber with all the plants. So next slide. All right, so the next one picture here is it's talking about where the oil and the water separates. So when you start this steam distillation process, there's a fire that is at the bottom of the chamber. It kind of uses the water to break down the molecules, and then once it goes through pipe, I guess we can call it, it comes into one of these things right here, and it basically separates the water and the oil. So that's what it's talking about right there. And then all the remaining water ends up getting drained into these containers at the bottom here. And in that way, you can just have the oil, and then they send them off for testing. All right, next slide. So this one is beautiful pure oils. So again, after they separate the oil from the water, after they separate the oil from the water, they drain out the water, you are left with pure essential oils that is then taken and being tested, and then it will go in, it'll be sealed into the little bottles. They'll be sealed into little bottles like these. So we got a 15 milliliter bottle, and we have 5 milliliter bottles, and then of course, over here, these white bottles here, these are basically our dietary oils, basically meaning that you can put them in your drinks and food. So we have these ones as well. So, but no matter what size the bottles you get, they're all amber bottles. So they do a nice job at decorating them and making them look good. So next slide. So this next picture is talking about the winter harvest. So again, like I said, there's certain amount of when you're cultivating your plants to extract for essential oils, they have to be cultivated at the right time. So there's some essential oils that need to be cultivated at summertime, and then some that need to be cultivated at wintertime. So this is what they call the winter harvest. And then the next slide is balsam is cut, shot, and transported into a distillery for extraction process. So you can see this is talking about balsam, I'm not pronouncing it right, and how that's done. It's really neat how they do all these, how they, plant them, cultivate them, distill them. It's amazing. There's a lot of videos that I found on YouTube. Next slide. No, not next slide. All right, so next we're going to talk about harvesting. So the timing of harvest, this is what I'm talking about earlier when I was showing you the summer harvest picture and the winter harvest picture. Harvesting, the time of the harvest is one of the most important factors in the production of therapeutic grade oils. If the plants are harvested at the wrong time of the season, even at the incorrect time of day, they may distill into a substandard essential oil, which means if it's not harvested at the right time, harvested at the right time of day, during the right harvesting, then it could become a synthetic adulterated oil. So they have to really pay close attention on how they do that to make sure we get 100% pure therapeutic oils. Amen? Awesome. So in some instances, changing harvest time by even a few hours can make a huge difference. Other factors that should be taken into consideration during the harvest includes the amount of dew on the leaves, the percentage of plants in bloom, and weather conditions during the 2 weeks prior to the harvest. So all of that little small detail is important. So that way we can get 100% pure, potent therapeutic oils. To prevent herbs from dying out prior to being distilled, the distilling facility should be located close to the field as possible. Transporting herbs to the distillation facilities hundreds and thousands of miles away might risk exposure and pollutants, dust, mold, and free chemical residues. So they have to, at every farm, they have to have a distillery right there, right on that lot, because, like I said, like I was reading, if they have to travel thousands of miles away, then you are going to have your oils, your plants fade, right? It's going to get, what did it say? It's going to have risk of exposure to pollution, dust, mold, and free chemical residues. So you gotta have your distillery right close to your farm. Actually, they probably even have it right on their farm. So Young Living continues to expand and develop strategic partnerships that grows the distilleries throughout the world. Distillation. The master distillation must oversee the entire process by harvesting just at the right time and plant maturity and dealing with the proper temperatures, pressures at the right time varies with, next page, different plant material. Young Living often experiments with innovative distillation techniques on its farms to maximize therapeutic potency of the oil. Oils that are distilled traditionally, using techniques that have been passed down through generations from father to son. So this is a really great thing about having distillation all over the world, is that, you know, it just gets passed down from generation to father, from father to son, at different farms, different distilleries, and so, you know, it's awesome. That's all I can say. Steam distillation. Steam distillation is a separation process for materials that are temperature sensitive, like essential oils. Following are three methods of steam distillation. So simple distillation. The plant material is loaded into an extraction chamber filled with water and is heated to soften the plant fiber so that the oil molecules can be released. Begins to rise, the molecules are released as a vapor, which carries the steam into the condenser. The cooling water in the condenser converts the steam to water, and the next page, the vapor to oil. The oil and the water mixture continues to flow in the separator where the oil rises to the top and the water is still on the bottom. And then after that's, what happened?